If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that Fire Emblem has been a big part of my life ever since my early teenage years. And my love for Fire Emblem probably stems from one of the first games I ever played on the PC named Lords of Magic, a turn-based strategy game developed by Sierra in 1997. I have played this game on the channel a few years back if you want to check it out, but that's not what I want to talk about in today's video. Today we are going even further back to my childhood. You see, before I got my hands on a PC as a kid, all I had was a classic Game Boy. That's right, the good old brick. My parents were not fond of gaming when I was growing up. They outright refused to buy the NES or the SNES, regardless of how much me and my brother begged for it. But they understood that gaming was a good motivator, so they gave me a deal. They did not want to buy any TV consoles, as they viewed them as too dangerously addictive, but they would go along with getting a smaller Game Boy. However, I had to work hard for it. I had to do a full month worth of chores just to afford the Game Boy itself, and then I had to do another full week of chores per game I wanted to buy. That was the deal, and it was one that I accepted immediately. The first game I got was of course the one that came with the Game Boy itself, and that was Tetris. I played this game for hours every day until another week passed and I was able to afford my second game. And that game was Super Mario Land. A pretty decent game to start off with and one that I had tons of fun playing together with my brother. After that, I remember getting Donkey Kong Land, and eventually I would pick up Pokemon Red. These games would be a staple part of my childhood, and in time I remember beating them all. At some point, I borrowed one of those weird, funky, multi-game cartridges from one of my friends that had a bunch of games on them, and this allowed me to try my hand at several brand new titles that I wouldn't likely have bought on my own, seeing as I had to work very hard for each game. On this cartridge, I remember spending many hours playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong, as well as the fighting game Double Dragon, which made me feel very rebellious since I knew my parents would never normally allow me to play such a violent game. That was the rule whenever I picked one out, by the way. It could not have any fighting or violence on the cover. So as a result, I always played this game at night in my bed, hiding under my blanket, using a flashlight to light up the screen. Only 90s kids will understand this. While I would end up beating most of the games on this cartridge, there was one that stood out from the rest. A game that initially didn't seem very exciting to me. It was named Gremlins 2. It was based on the classic horror comedy movie Gremlins from 1984, but at the time I had never watched this movie and I had no idea what it was. All I saw was that it featured some weird little chunky animal as its main character, and as a result I just assumed it was some lame-ass game for little babies and I just ignored it. However, as I eventually ran out of games to beat, I decided to give this one a go, and what I found was that this game was easily one of the most evil, cruel, and horrendously designed games I had ever played. This game kicked my ass so hard, I actually had nightmares about it. I would wake up in the middle of the night sweating with this game's soundtrack ringing in my head. I decided that the only way I could get this game out of my mind was to try and beat it, and that did not prove to be an easy task for little kid Manx. People often ask me, "Hey Manx, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you so stupid?" Well, I blame this game personally. This game is the reason why I turned out the way I did. And as a result, I'm going to force all of you guys to relive this horrendous game together with me. Let's go. It honestly doesn't start out so bad. You control Gizmo, and your standard attacks consists of hitting things with a pencil. Yeah, it's one of those games. Gremlins 2 isn't hard because it has powerful enemies. It's hard because your main character is a disabled fat baby. You have to get so incredibly close to hit your target with a stupid pencil that you are likely to take a hit from whatever you are attacking. You got 4 hearts, and most enemies will take half a heart from you when you touch them, though some of the bigger enemies will take a full heart, so you die really quickly in this game. Gizmo also can't jump very high. His mobility is super poor and he is slow as balls, so you really feel like you're a little defenseless child surrounded by horrible monsters, which does add to the horror movie feeling of this game quite well. The game does do a pretty good job of introducing you to its few power-ups early on. After collecting the pencil, you can pick up radios, which allows you to throw a single note at an enemy. It's like a one-time projectile. Pretty bad, but some areas do require you to use them. And then there's the briefcase, or at least that's what I think it is. When you jump into it, it plays funny music, and it allows you to collide with up to 5 enemies before it breaks. You can also find small hearts that restores 1 health, and big hearts which restores all your health, and that's pretty much it. Those are the few power-ups you have in this game. You also got these weird boxing crates, but they are only useful for killing what's directly adjacent to you. So I don't really consider them power-ups per se. Aside from this, you are stuck with your shitty pencil, so have fun with that. The enemies you fight in the first level are pretty standard for the 90s era Nintendo games. A lot of bats for some reason. Seriously, why are there always bats in these freaking games? Why are they so freaking annoying? Jesus Christ, leave me alone! You also got spiders, of course, you can't have a Nintendo game without spiders, and little hamsters, I think? I don't even know what these are supposed to be. And then you got the Gremlins, which are much stronger and tougher. These guys usually take a full heart away from you, so you gotta be very careful when dealing with them. Very early on, you'll run into this stupid thought. This gremlin prostitute, or whatever she's supposed to be, will literally kneel down and forcefully kiss you, draining your health. And you can't fight her, she's completely invulnerable. Don't even try it, she'll even stun you while she's sucking the life out of you. You just have to try and avoid her as best as you can. I even tried picking up a radio note to see if it works on her, and nope, she is just completely invulnerable to everything. Just try to jump over her. If you can't do that, you might just have to accept that she will drain 1 or 2 hearts away from you as you move past her. In order to get around, you have to use these stupid springboards, and Gizmo maneuvers like a drunken hobo in the air. It's very hard to get him to bounce where you want him to, and there are spikes everywhere. The game even trolls you by having blocks which makes you fall through them. Though at least it's good that it teaches you about this early on, because these blocks will appear a lot. Still, level 1 isn't really that difficult. As long as you get your big boy pants on, you should be able to get through it in a few tries. I mean, I was able to beat this level pretty consistently as a little kid, so how hard can it be, right? Well, it gets a lot worse, trust me. This level does have a few really annoying jumping puzzles though. You really have to hit the button perfectly in order to manage some of these stupid jumps. You have to prepare to fail these a lot. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at that! Come on! Okay, seriously, are you kidding me right now? Come on! There we go, finally. Wow, thank God I got that full health restore. Really needed that. At long last, it's time to face the first boss fight, and let me tell you, these things don't screw around. This huge gremlin throws tomatoes at you, and normally this doesn't seem so bad, but keep in mind that Gizmo is moving at the speed of a freaking toddler, so you have to really predict the pattern of the tomatoes to be able to dodge them. Get hit by one and you will lose half a heart. However, get too close to the boss and he'll take a whole heart away from you, so you die extremely fast. Well, that went about as well as I expected. Let's try again. Come on. Motherfucker, come here. Stop jumping around! Die! Alright, well that didn't work. You know, one of the things that makes this boss fight so much harder than it needs to be is the lack of an enemy health bar. You have no idea how many hits you actually need to kill this guy, and because he will usually hit you before you hit him, you kind of just have to YOLO it, where you just rely on the invincibility after being hit and just spam the pencil. But, I mean, again, I don't know if I need like 10 or 20 more hits to kill this guy, so I guess I'll just try again. On my third and final try, I decided to try out a new strategy. I tried to stay within range of the boss as much as possible, to stay within the arc of his first throw. But even this is kinda tough, as the tomatoes will usually hit me like every 5 times. And he's just so incredibly fast. I mean, like, look how quickly he kills me. And yeah, that's it. I get my first game over. You know, for a game that is as demonic and hellish as this one, it sure has a very catchy game over tune. Almost like you should be happy that you lost, you know? It's like... I remember listening to this as a kid a lot, because this game used to kill me a lot. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. Sadly, this does mean I have to start all the way from the beginning and I have to beat level 1 again, but at this point I can clear it pretty easily and make my way back to the boss in time. I decide to have a go at the YOLO strategy again, where I close the distance rapidly and just repeatedly smack the boss with my pencil, trying to kill him before he kills me, and to my surprise, it actually works out really well. Now, the problem with the YOLO strategy is that he will usually hit you as much as you hit him. However, if you can catch him in sort of like a backwards retreat, the pencil will actually stun lock him, and since he's moving away from you, you can actually get in a fair amount of hits on him before he starts coming back for you. And I found that this is actually the best way to defeat him. After the boss, we get introduced to this game's bonus level system. We have to mash the button 100 times in 10 seconds, which is actually a lot harder than it seems. These are the kind of mechanics that used to give kids carpal tunnel syndrome back in the 90s. You succeed and you get an extra life. Quite generous. Now, I can already hear some of you guys in the comment section going, "Bangs, this game is easy, Bangs. Why do you struggle so much with this game? You said it was hard." This is just the first level. It's about to get a lot worse. Trust me. So up next, we got level 2. One of the maybe cruelest aspects of this level is that your pencil is not at the start, so you will have to maneuver around enemies until you can get it. Luckily, there's a briefcase early on, but I instantly lose it since I hit a spike. Though the level is relatively plentiful with its power-ups, such as radios and boxing crates to deal with the enemies. Oh wait, I think I see the pencil right there. Alright, let me just make my way up here and I should be able to... Oh, really? Are you kidding me? A bat? You're gonna send the bat at me before I have any chance of defending myself? This is just... What, it charges at you? Get the fuck away from me, you stupid bat! Jesus Christ! Oh my god, this is so freaking annoying. Wait, haha! A radio, come here, bat. Come here, wait, where are you going? Seriously? Seriously? This little fucker knows that I have the radio now. What? Could you have programmed the bat to be more annoying if you tried? Seriously? I mean, what the hell? This is just... Oh, okay, so now he's gonna come after me again. Okay, so the moment you get rid of the radio node, that's when the bat comes back. Screw this game, seriously, screw this game. Honestly though, the answer to the puzzle isn't that complicated. You just need to keep your briefcase. Since it can destroy a total of 5 enemies, you just gotta avoid a few of them and make sure you still have it when you encounter the bat. And there you go! Haha! Take that, little fucker. So yeah, now I just need to go and pick up the pencil and... Okay, it's not working. Aha. I see. It's one of those games where you can't pick up a new power-up as long as you have an old one. Well, alright, this thing is like the invincibility star from Mario, so I guess we just have to wait out its duration? This thing doesn't have a duration, does it? It's gonna go on forever. Yay. So yeah, turns out the only way we can get rid of this is to run into an enemy, depleting its last use, and then finally we can go back and get the pencil. Yay. Never thought I'd actually be glad to have this shitty thing again, but I guess it's better than nothing. With the pencil in tow, we can finally continue on our way through level 2. This level really starts to show the intricate jumping puzzles of this game, and it's just gonna get worse from here. We got platforms that pushes you in random directions, and it makes it incredibly hard to maneuver. It is very easy to fall through, and generally speaking, you don't really have to do these, but at the top of these jumping puzzles, there's usually some power-ups, so I try my best to get them whenever I can. Ah, fucking hell. Alright, let's try one more time. Alright, I did it! And I got a radio. Woo! That was totally worth it. I can use it to kill this bat here. Yay. Yeah, that was a giant waste of time. Up next, we come to a part that seems kind of quiet unless you get a skateboarding gremlins. I hate this fucking game. Alright, well, that's that guy done with. Alright, let's try that again. There's another one. Of course, there's always another one. I can just jump above him. Ah! He's gonna... Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I'm almost dead. Jesus Christ. I hate this game so much. Alright, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna try another path. Up next, we come to these stupid blocks up in the air that moves way too fast. I remember hating this section of the game as a kid. I could never get past this place, but I know that there's a full heart at the end of it, and I am almost dead, so I would very much appreciate it. So let's have a montage of me failing this jumping puzzle, shall we? Yay, full health. And there's a bat. Why would you put the bat there? Seriously? Up next, we get the return of the Gremlin prostitute. Yeah, she's a recurring character in this game, and this time she's blowing kisses, which hurts you upon contact. Man, it's almost like the developers were trying to tell us something here. You can't kill her, so you just have to jump over her and just accept that she'll do some damage to you as you pass by. Stupid thought. Look at her shaking her hips at you. She knows you can't hurt her. Yeah, well, just wait until they ban your OnlyFans account. I'm out of here. Alright, time to take on the second boss. He is a giant bat that will frequently swoop down on you, and you have absolutely no time to react. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead. That's it. Game over. I had to play from the start again. Lovely. Alright, I'm just gonna do that off screen and come back, so we can talk more about this ridiculous boss. So yeah, second attempt. So as I said, that this boss will swoop down on you, and that's the only time you can hit him. And every time you do, he will summon these small bats, which are practically impossible to dodge. At least one of them will hit you. And he is also very likely to hit you because his hitbox is huge. And yeah, he will keep spawning these bats. And you can see I almost managed to dodge them here, but it's practically impossible to do it. And yeah, he just kills you. The speed at which this boss kills you is absolutely crazy. You have no time to react. Well, I'm not gonna let some bat fucker get me. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying this until I get it. Yeah, that's right, okay. Just gotta be very careful now. I gotta dodge these stupid bats. Jesus Christ, I got hit twice, what the hell? Okay, there. How am I supposed to get out of the way of this guy? He's just too fast. All right, come on, keep calm now, Max. Keep calm. Dodge the fucking bats. Let's go. You can do it. It is. Oh, there is a window of opportunity to dodge. Jesus Christ, man. This is way too freaking hard. All right, let's go again. Alright, come on. Nah, dead. And dead. And dead. And dead. And very dead. Okay, come on. And dead. Do I have him now? Okay, he might be really low now. Okay, now here comes the stupid fucking bat. I'm dead. I can't defeat this boss. I don't know how to defeat this boss. It's the second out of the 4 bosses in the game, and I have absolutely no idea how to beat this guy. The worst part is I know that there is some strategy to beat this guy because I was able to do it as a kid. I just don't remember what I did because it's been so many years since I did this boss. I just gotta think, man, how did I do it? One of the main issues with the bat boss is that he simply moves too fast for you to avoid his attacks. Even if you see his attacks coming, Gizmo doesn't physically move fast enough to get out of the way in time, so trying to dodge him is just hopeless. You also cannot really dodge the bats, at least not to my knowledge. I mean, there might be some patterns that allows you to do it, but for the most part, you will just end up jumping around like an idiot trying to avoid them and get hit anyway. And it was then it dawned on me. This is actually the strategy I used as a kid. Don't move, just stand still, or at least only move when it is absolutely necessary. The most important thing you have to do is to avoid the boss himself, as he will injure you very quickly. But the bats aren't really that dangerous, so just ignore them. Otherwise, stand completely still, just ignore the bats, and hope you kill the boss before the bats kill you. And turns out when you use this method, you are just barely able to defeat the boss in time. And I have to wonder if this is actually how they designed the boss fight to be beaten. is there a way of preventing the Gremlins from totally destroying Clamp Center? I don't know, is there a way to prevent this game from totally destroying my sanity? Anyway, it's time for level 3. This is where the shit really starts to pile up. So as always, the first thing we gotta go do is find the pencil. Luckily, this map does give us a briefcase pretty early on to help us ward off the enemies, and would you look at that? There's the pencil already. Well, better go get it then, I guess. But first we need to get up there, and yeah, well, this game has some unnecessarily tedious jumps, as you can see. Anyway, with the pencil, we should now be... Alright then, I guess we gotta go find an enemy to ram into so we can get rid of this thing. Alright then, that wasn't enough. Guess I'll have to find a spike. There we go. Alright, guess I better make my way back to the pencil so I... You can already tell we're off to a great start here. Alright, let's try that again. Honestly, if you just go for the pencil before the briefcase, you'll be fine. This was just a case of me being stupid. However, after traversing the first bit of the game, you run into maybe one of the most annoying enemies ever. This guy. God, I hate this guy. If you're unlucky, you'll get stuck down here, and you'll have to maneuver your way out before the little balls kill you. Come on! Jesus Christ. Okay, my briefcase is gone. Alright, okay, come on. Jesus Christ. This guy gives you, like, no freaking opportunities to get past him. Holy shit, whatever you do, do not get trapped over here. Alright, fuck it, I'm just gonna go this... No! No! God damn it! Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I'm almost dead. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I have to go through him one more time. Are you fucking shitting me right now? God damn it. Oh, Jesus Christ, I am almost dead. I literally have 0 hearts remaining. God, this is gonna be an... Ouch! Almost died again. Alright, anyway, let's continue. Oh, never mind. I died. Honestly though, the first part of this map isn't that hard, I'm just being incredibly dumb. First thing you gotta do is get the pencil, which you should get first, which isn't that hard. Then you can go get the briefcase, and then you have to take the southern path under the annoying gremlin. Then comes a series of pretty simple jumping puzzles, not really anything too tricky here, just watch the spikes. However, then you come to this section of the map right here. First thing you gotta deal with is a skateboarding gremlin. And then you have to deal with this stupid jump right here. This jump is so incredibly difficult. You have to hit it exactly on the spot. If you don't press quickly enough, you will simply go down. God, I hate this jump so much. I failed so many times trying to get this stupid jump. Come on, oh my god. Okay, alright, one more time, let's go. Come on, come on, come on, and there we go, finally got it. But we're not done, ladies and gentlemen. Now comes the absolute worst part of this map, this little block right here. Now you gotta jump on it, and he moves so incredibly quickly, and you're gonna jump over these spikes right here, and then it just freaking trolls you. Look at that! Look at this stupid box right here. What the hell is this supposed to be? It literally just goes Jesus Christ. And every time I want to reach this area, I have to make it past this stupid jump, by the way. Jesus Christ, I hate this game. Now, I quickly figured out that in order to make it past this little puzzle right here, you have to actually intentionally land on one of the spikes below, because the block will actually come back for you. The problem is, your health goes down very quickly, so you'll end up dying if you're not at full health. So you actually gotta play the level perfectly up until this point. Now you can go in with 1 heart missing, but if you miss on the 2 first spikes, you might as well just throw yourself to your doom, because you won't have the hearts to actually make it past. So this is how you have to do it. You have to practically take no damage. Keeping the briefcase on you helps a lot with this, as it can absorb 5 hits. However, it will vanish as soon as you touch a spike, which is a little bit annoying. However, there is a heart here that you can pick up. Then you gotta avoid the skateboarding gremlin, make your way over and do the perfect jump. You gotta deal with the stupid bat, and then finally, we are here, on full health, ready to do the stupid jumping puzzle, so let's go. So yeah, it's very hard to not take any damage on the spikes here, but with full health, we might be able to make it through this. I have to wait on the spike for the block to come back, jump on top of it, and try to take as little damage as possible, and there, finally, we made it over to the other side. Jesus Christ. And then I noticed one of those spitting enemies, the ones that you can only really kill using a radio note. And it is then I realized that I was supposed to save the one I got before the jumping puzzle. But of course I couldn't know this, so I just used it to kill the bat. This game is such a troll. How was I supposed to know I had to save the radio note? This game is just cruel. Alright, so let's try this one more time. This time around I bring my radio note with me as I attempt the jumping puzzle, and I actually discover an alternate solution to this. If I jump on top of these spikes over here, and then wait on this upper spike, I have just enough health left to make it over to the other side. The problem is right now, 1 more hit and I am dead, and this spitter always seems to get you before you get him. So I have to do the jumping puzzle again, and this time around I use the older solution where I jump down on the bottom spike right here, waiting for the box to catch up to me. And it's a little bit more tedious, but it saves me about 1.5 hearts, which gives me a heart left over after I'm done dealing with the spitter. So finally I'm able to kill him. Die, you asshole. And it's time to see what awaits me next. It's another fucking spitter. Lovely. So yeah, in case you thought one spitter wasn't bad enough, you have to deal with another one. And this time around, you don't have a radio note to kill him. So your timing has to be absolutely perfect. There is a pattern between his spits, so if you can make it over to him, you might be able to kill him before he kills you, but it's just going to be barely. And I'm able to make it down there, and I almost died to a gremlin. I swear to God, this game gives you like no respite. Seriously. But we somehow make it through this insane gauntlet. Let's see what lies ahead. Ah, this motherfucker again. Lovely. Just what I needed. So, since I practically don't have a single heart left, going through this guy is not an option, so I have to go around him, and that requires one of these other incredibly annoying perfect jumps right here. Again, one of the reasons why this game is so difficult is just how hard it is to maneuver Gizmo around. I mean, seriously, it looks a lot easier than it is. Finally, we're able to get through here, and we are rewarded with a single heart. Yay. And it's gone. Lovely. Now, these 2 jumping gremlins here are actually some of the easiest enemies in the game, because you can just keep hitting them, and they won't reach you. And then there's just 1 little spike left, and I just barely make it across. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to take a look at the boss. That didn't take long. So yeah, say hello to the 3rd boss of this game, the Lightning Gremlin. This guy is on a completely different level to anything you fought before. While the first boss was all about dodging tomatoes and being very aggressive, and the second boss was all about just standing still and not moving around, this guy is about pure lightning reflexes, no pun intended. He moves around so incredibly quickly, and the only way you can damage him is to hit him while he materializes, and this just happens for a brief split second, so you have to predict his path. When you actually manage to land a hit on him, he will change his trajectory, which adds to the confusion of this fight, which increases the likelihood that you'll get hit and die. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? Alright, let's go. So, okay, I'm already hit. Oh, I got hit twice. Already half dead 2 seconds into the fight. Oh, there's the 3rd hit. Alright, Jesus Christ, what the hell is this fight? Oh, look at that, I got hit again. And, yeah, I haven't even landed a single hit on him. And I'm dead. And it's a game over. Lovely. So yeah, this boss is every bit as brutal as I remember him as. I was only able to reach this guy a few times as a kid, and every time I did, I remember being so stressed out by this fight. My heart was pounding, I was sweating, I remember my hands were hurting from holding the Game Boy. It was not fun. I remember really struggling with this boss. Now, the game is pretty generous. When you get a game over, it does put you back to the start of the stage, but it still means I have to beat stage 3 every single time I want 3 new tries on this guy. So it's pretty brutal. You get really good at clearing stage 3, let me just tell you that. There is only one choice you have if you want to beat this guy. You just have to fight him time and time again until your reflexes start to remember the fight instinctively. With the first boss fight, there is a bit of a trick. You can just be really reckless and try to hit him before he kills you. And with the second boss, you can just stand still. So both bosses have very easy tricks to beat them. For this fight, I haven't figured out a single trick or a way to beat him easily. There is one strategy that I tried for quite some time, and that was one where I simply stood on the edge of the screen. I would simply just move as little as possible and attempt to hit him when he came close to me. It's quite easy to dodge the sideways lightning bolts when you stand like this. The problem is that he has certain movement patterns where he will strike you and there's nothing you can do about it, and it happens pretty often, more often than you'll be able to hit him. And since he does so much damage, it's only a matter of time before he'll kill you, before you kill him. So this strategy just didn't end up working. Oh no, there is no quick or easy way to defeat this boss. The only way we can do it is to put on our big boy pants and ram our heads against him again and again and again and again until we beat the fight. "46 attempts. That's how many times I died on this boss. I counted. 46 attempts. Over 1 hour of recording footage. This is attempt number 47. Oh my god, I fucking got him! I got him! I fucking... I fucking got him! Holy shit, I fucking got him! What follows next is a bonus level where I am almost too exhausted to press the buttons, so I almost fail it. Somehow I end up scraping by in the last few seconds and I'm able to get the 1-up. But in the end, though, I don't really know why these bonus levels are here, because they don't really matter. I mean, when you die, you go back to the start, and you get infinite continues, so these bonus levels are completely useless. The extra heart that you get won't really help you unless you manage to clear the level perfectly on your first try, then maybe you'll get an extra attempt on the boss, but that's pretty much about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with the lightning fucker. But we are about to enter into one of the worst parts of the game. This is the dreaded level 4. Now, one of the things that actually made this incredibly difficult for me as a kid was the fact that the battery life of the Game Boy was roughly around 12 to 15 hours. There were no charger you could put into the Game Boy to charge it while you were playing. That came later. You had to open up the Game Boy, physically take out the batteries, and either replace them with new ones or charge the ones you had. The problem was that this would cause the Game Boy to shut itself off. And Gremlins has no save function, so when you switch the Game Boy off, you have to start from the beginning again. Now, 15 hours, that sounds like a pretty generous amount of time to beat a game, but keep in mind, I didn't beat this game in one sitting. I would play one level, I would put the Game Boy away, I would go take a break, I would come back after eating some food, and by the time I reached stage 4, the battery life of my Game Boy was starting to run short, and I remember watching that red light while I played, and that stressed me out a lot more. However, even without the added stress of the battery life running low, this next level is evil on a completely different scale. Everything you've seen up until now has been child's play. Now, we're about to enter the dreaded level 4. This is the level that traumatized me as a kid. Oh man, this music, man, this freaking music. I hate this music so much. Oh, just listening to it makes me nauseous. I got so many bad memories associated with this freaking map theme. I mean, just listen to it. It's like so incredibly evil sounding. I had nightmares about this song. I would wake up in the middle of the night hearing the song in my head. One time, it was because I woke up with my Game Boy still under my pillow and I forgot to turn it off, so the sound was still playing. I thought I was going insane there for a moment, I remember. Yeah, oh boy. We have no choice. We gotta beat this map. Surely I can do it 20 years later. Already from its early stages, this map shows you just how cruel it plans to be, with this incredibly hard jump. It may not look like much, but getting Gizmo around here is actually incredibly difficult, and if you fail, you'll land on the spike and take damage. After that, you get this incredibly difficult jumping sequence. Getting Gizmo to maneuver around these spikes is so incredibly hard, and you'll end up taking a lot of damage trying to get through here. Later on, I just decided to move like this, jumping over the spikes themselves, and just accept the damage. You get a heart at the end of this anyway, so it's actually not that bad. After that, you have to maneuver over some additional platforms, and then comes this incredibly cruel jumping sequence right here. If you fail and you fall below this, you'll end up in a trap room, I guess, with this jumping gremlin, and here you have no choice but to go back and do it all over again. And individually, these jumps aren't that hard, but little by little, you will touch spikes, and your health will just slowly drain away, just like your sanity on this godforsaken map. Now there are hearts on this map, but they're usually hidden behind enemies, and you end up taking as much damage as you gain from the hearts themselves. So for this map, you kinda just wanna avoid the power-ups and try to take the path of least resistance. A good example of this is this hallway right here, which takes you to a single heart. However, guarding it are two skateboard gremlins, which move incredibly fast, and there's no way you're gonna kill them before they take at least a heart out of you, or even worse, just straight up kill you. So yeah, just avoid these power-ups altogether, they are just not worth it. And up next is sort of like a mini-boss that actually gave me nightmares as a kid. I mean, I don't know what this is, some kind of gremlin dog monster? He keeps launching balls at you and you have to dodge them. It's incredibly intimidating and they move super fast, so they're incredibly hard to dodge. I mean, look at my health, it's practically all gone. Luckily, there is a heart down here. Of course, it's guarded by a spitter, but it's probably the most generous heart of this entire level. If you take a slight detour and go northwest, you come to a secret chamber where you can find a briefcase, and this will be very useful against the upcoming enemy, the dreaded yo-yo gremlin. At least that's what I called him as a kid. Soon as you hit the springboard, he'll start launching something at you. I mean, it looks like a yo-yo to me, but I never watched the movie, so I have no idea who this guy is supposed to be based off. And yeah, this proves to be incredibly hard, because in true Gremlins fashion, the jump you need to do is very tricky to pull off, and the added stress of this little fucker throwing shit at you while you're trying to do it doesn't exactly help. Now, the problem with the briefcase is that it vanishes immediately the moment you touch a spike, so you're gonna have to try and keep it while carefully maneuvering through the spikes, and if you can somehow manage to make it onto the springboard with the briefcase still intact, you will be able to absorb 5 hits before it vanishes, and that might just buy you enough time to make it out of there before he kills you. Now further up you'll encounter a radio. Remember this one, it's gonna be important later. And after dealing with a gremlin, we make it down the other side and we have to go through the yo-yo gremlin again because this game is cruel and loves tormenting children. And then, as if all the shit we've encountered up until this point wasn't bad enough, we arrive at probably the most evil room this game has offered thus far. When entering into this chamber, Gizmo becomes invisible, and you don't see him on screen anymore, and you have to maneuver around a freaking maze of spikes and jumping puzzles, while not being able to see your own character. This is evil on a level that I just cannot comprehend. I was only able to reach this chamber a single time as a kid, and when I did, this was the point of the game where I gave up. I could not make it past this freaking chamber. Now, you gotta understand, back then, beating games was a big deal. It gave you bragging rights among your friends. You know, the coolest kids in class were usually the people who could beat the most difficult games. And among my friends, none of them even attempted to play this game because it was just too hard. So you can imagine how much I wanted to tell my friends that I had actually beaten Gremlins 2. But more than any sense of pride or desire to beat this game, I remember what nagged me the most about this game was just my curiosity. I wanted to know what was beyond that room. I wanted to know what the boss of the last stage was. Now, I knew that the game only had 4 stages. My friend had told me as much. Apparently, he had read it in some kind of manual, but no one knew what the final boss of Gremlins 2 looked like. And I remember just having these dreams, or I guess closer to nightmares, just envisioning what the final boss would look like. Would he be like a morph between the 3 first bosses, or would he be something completely different altogether? I kept imagining how difficult that final boss fight must be, considering how hard the rest of the game was. And I remember just waking up multiple times at night just thinking about it. And it drove me mad. I wanted to beat it, but I just couldn't. And so I gave up, and I never picked up the game again, until now. And now, over 20 years later, it's time to finally figure out what the final boss of this game is. To this day, I have not looked it up on YouTube. I want to actually experience it authentically, and see if I can actually beat the boss, whatever it might be. The first task is getting past the stupid room. It is actually possible to briefly pinpoint Gizmo's location by having him jump in specific spots. His outline is barely visible when he touches against the blocks, giving you an idea of where he is. But this doesn't help you when you have to jump over the spikes, which are the hardest part about this room. No matter how many times I try, I just cannot get past this area without dying. But then it occurred to me, maybe there's a solution to this puzzle. The game has shown me before the importance of keeping a radio note, like it forced me to do on stage 3, and there happens to be a radio available shortly before this room. It does require you to take out the gremlin first, but could it be possible that keeping the radio note with you is the solution to getting past this room? And it turns out that's exactly it. The note remains visible above your head, allowing you to see where Gizmo is. Now it is suddenly much easier to navigate the room, and for the first time ever, I am able to see what lies beyond. And turns out it's an incredibly lame pitfall trap. Really, game? You want to pull this bullshit on me this late into the stage? Man, I can only imagine what would have happened if I had reached the stage as a kid. I probably would have destroyed my Game Boy. But I will not be dissuaded. Not when I'm this close to reaching my goal. Surely at this stage, the boss fight must be looming close. Now, funnily enough, if you go to the right here, you actually get a full heart upgrade, which is very generous for this level. But it is also very welcome, seeing as I am almost dead. Going further down, there's 2 gremlins on a conveyor belts. I tried to get both of them with the note, but it's a lot harder than it seems, so I just take my time with the pencil. Then comes a series of really hard jumps. I don't actually know if it's possible to do this without taking damage. There may be a way to do it, but I haven't found it, so the best thing is just to eat the spikes. Then you have to deal with a spitter, and that's always a joy. And then the game trolls you by showing you a full heart upgrade. And I actually think this full heart is a bait. I don't think there's a way you can reach it. Look how hard I'm trying, but every time I just keep on failing. And every time I'm forced to take damage from the spikes. Maybe there's a way to get this heart, but I don't think so. I think you're actually doomed to fail. It sure doesn't seem far-fetched considering the bullshit this game pulls on you. So just ignore it. It's not worth it. Keep going and just accept the fact that you won't be on full health. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The entrance to the final boss room. After 20 years, it is finally time for me to see what the final boss fight of Gremlins 2 looked like. Okay. That was incredibly weird. The final boss is a giant spider. So yeah, this boss fight was not at all what I was expecting. I imagined something crazy fast, jumping around on screen like a maniac, throwing projectiles every which way, but it turns out that the final boss battle is rather slow and calculated. For the first time, you actually get to fire a bow and arrow. That would have been a nice weapon to have prior to this, by the way. And spiders keep falling from the sky, but they descend rather slowly, so you don't really need to be fast to dodge them. But the problem is Gizmo doesn't jump high enough. He can't reach the boss with his arrows. I mean, you can try and jump, but it won't be enough. It is then I realized that you have to jump onto the cobweb, which takes you up into the air. However, at this point, you are no longer able to move around. You're stuck there, so you're kind of like a sitting duck, and your only alternative is to try and shoot the boss before the spiders kill you. This fight is not about your reflexes, but rather your accuracy. The spider head may appear large, but it is very easy to shoot above or below it. Only when the arrow hits smack dab in the middle does the boss take damage, and you are likely to die before that happens. To add insult to injury, I discovered that when the boss is low on health, it rapidly speeds up the amount of spiders that spawn. I mean, just look at this shit! At this point, you have to kill the boss fast or be killed yourself. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've figured out this boss now. Let's go get this fucker once and for all.
I did it. I beat Gremlins. It only took me 20 years to do it. Finally, I can put this game from my childhood out of my mind. This is a bit of a different video. I've been wanting to make this one for quite a while. I just never found the time. But hopefully, with this silly little video, you all understand why I'm so fucking weird. It's because of this game. We all have some video game from our childhood that shaped us and turned us into who we are today. And for me, Gremlins 2 is that game. It may have traumatized me, but it also made me appreciate a real challenge. If you have any games that shaped your childhood, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Until next time, my name has been Mangs. Thank you for watching.